Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
NPP as a party in the past few days has stormed the poll to elect their presidential candidate ahead of the 2028 election, which has sparked a lot of controversy among Ghanaians, party members and activists, including Ivan Mensah, who has come out with a powerful analysis describing Bawumia as somebody who still demonstrates that he's still a child in the political arena, and also tagging him as somebody who has demonstrated to the public or to the world that he's having no rich ideas to govern this party. He said a lot of things which I would like you to join me listening to it right here on PENDREAM TV. But before you go, if you have not yet subscribed as a new member, please do so. Hit the notification bell, like and also share to other members to watch as well. Thank you. We'll be right back.
There's a misreaction after the election.
I think we've been keenly following development. Makaka says whatever happens within the NPP, we have key interest in, because as sentinels seeking to protect the foundations of our democracy, it is our job just to look across the political divide. I bet me ensure things are done right within the description. You said democracy over the world, say the city here. Any your friend is saying jump over beer, the SSS will come back to affect Ghanaians. Is the reason why you're so much keen about happenings in the NPP. But it's sad. So we will be aware who the political party in the past. Now I've had a tradition, now we're dear Omudisio Moniso. And you look at what the NPP has now degenerated to become recently under Akufo-Addo and the leadership and the subsequent leadership now. I'm sure you notice there has been a considerable change within the NPP in terms of the fabric of the party, in terms of the texture and in terms of everything. Now I make say NPP for young realizes the major challenge, the major crisis the party is facing right now, a brand crisis. The party, the institution, NPP, Ghana have lost absolute trust and confidence in the party because of Kwanya Akufo-Addo befa party, Kwanya Ofaso manage party, and how the party led the particular government, Ghana the. So I leave a certain scar on the conscience of Ghanaians. The very moment the word NPP is mentioned, it evokes that. You have tough memories. I Ghana for so I was looking at the situation where the party will spend considerable time. I working on this particular a brand crisis in a party as of now. That is why we were recommending said they needed to do the bottom-up approach to patch these differences. The Neemana Ankoye at the grassroots, the rank and file of the party, the Neema Ankoye, they will be able to amend some of these differences. So by the time I'm build it up, able drew a top now when you're complete way, you could see there is this synergy running through the lines of the party. But no, they were so determined they needed to install Bawumia because he is the candidate of the shadow establishment, because now MPP is not in power, but there is an establishment in the shadow, whichever way you want to say it. So that shadow establishment, since that the Bawumia still should go, and this it was engineered just to ensure that Bawumia will be installed. So it's not the case that he was elected. He was installed like a chief. Because the structure, it didn't look so overt. But I want to see any logical analysis. You come to the realization current party executives in the recent past were in support of Bawumia. These people had considerable influences in the various constituencies. And this is a Jasi and Kotwaba, they will lose that influence. So Abra Munyankoyeno, you saw more, not the influence no more, young rely on it, now young for elected Bawumia. Because your casa your bottom your fence are down upper. This present executive who have considerable influence on the constituencies will lose their grips. And yes, sir, there is a likelihood we may lose. This is the reason why they race against all odds, common sense, reasoning, and decided that despite the many challenges confronting the party at the moment, they with the offense that conventional playbook the party reorganization the template find touching baby and they decided to go their own way. But first of all, let me commend them. Say in Western I check na who say NPP acquire elections I ntokwamba
manko
ye ntwa obi sai betwa obi we amu we be we macho man for the first time me sure say there were many incidents of violence so on that particular score and I think so much surprise you because violence in recent times has been one of the characteristics of NPP when it comes to internal elections. They even extended it to national elections because 2020 is still fresh on our minds. 2024 still fresh on our minds. The scars and the violence in Techiman quite clear. So whenever NPP goes into the polls, violence follows. So this time around, the violence I think that we need to commend them. And then the other side is the candidate that came up saying to about Mama Kachro say, so we have party now, a degenerate party na bubu, and they don't see the need to fix it because Ghana for answer number 2 about my yano, they need to trust you first. But it's to say the MPP is facing what I call FRDB double whammy. First of all, party na Nkasano suffer credibility crisis. The party MPP lack credibility. Then you go ahead to elect a candidate who also lack credibility. So any double jeopardy no because party na Nkasano they fail to work on the brand. And Bawumia as a person, nipa kufa the kofa na buy so or baba fix the economy the gentleman came and the economy worked in his face right there. Economy, the statistics, the indicators, all the numbers clearly give an indication say the gentleman could not manage the economy. He failed. It's the reason why at some point in time he left the economy and he was talking about the IT. So today, so what okofa sa nipa no ba na wuntime brande no. This is a guy who was labeled as a liar. As a liar. Obi Nano Kennedy Japan. The last video here, he labeled Bawumia as a liar. So today he is calling for unity. Said they are going to support Wayne. I wonder the kind of message he's going to give out to people because you have labeled the gentleman as a liar. Somebody and how are you going to change your tongue and tell people for Ghana for a liar to lead this particular country? So that is a crisis they are going to face. So for me, Bawumia, the fate is sealed because they have failed to do what they are supposed to do by making sure that cleaning it up. And in terms of ideas, he has also proven that he's not rich in terms of ideas. Because so we have a Ghana CIA. Now what we've gone through in recent time, the crisis are not so back on and Ghana for now obi now major priority whatever back be a Christopher Domako Israel Mamako Empire. It means that still that childish infantile political within the whole team because Ghana for are not interested in Yemen being found called Israel. Those things, even Cathedral cry and Ghana for rose against it because they realize in Sabia some meneba sorana ne ba nya adwuma nye ma meneba sorana ne ba anya adwuma wa wie school tifie job opportunities in your the area adwuma kwan de ntimi ntua ne kaye na wata mo man sika sa wo kwa kosi ba bia kwa kobom paye na bisa wo sa dan na wo kwa kosi is it going to solve our problems? You understand? So some of these events of religious indoctrination over the years and among for Afghanans quite busy conveniently as smuggle into our politics because that is the aspect Ghanaians become very weak. And they will just capitalize on those weaknesses and take advantage of them. No, Ghana for because me I prefer so me I prefer some babenya scholarship akwabontia kusua dia na so bako leguan kusua dia nu bi ama no so be crachi ni dan so be tam me say wo di sika sponsor me say me nkomeka. The same way has to do with Christians. So as a leader no, you have to be reasonable enough to identify these areas and know what is best for your people. But as a leader, Obi Obedi vice president for 8 good years, I will leave a very terrible mark on the conscience of Ghanaians. Failure was so overwhelming to the extent say Ghana for who are they see failure. When Ghana for see you, they see a liar. When Ghana for see you, they see incompetence. Now Obabima, you need to rebrand yourself. So Bawumia is not branded. NPP today hasn't been able to work on the brand. So there is that fusion, incompetence versus lying, a whole lot of we are coming together. And you think at this time Ghana for Eniate, I rise above the shoulders of ethnocentric politics, that tribal and fraternal politics, and Ghana for the politics. Do you think you will be convenient enough say Ghana for to about. So for me, I think that what happened there over here, that Bawumia's fate was sealed.
Yeah.
To lead the NPP, because that is what they wanted. Because they also realized that the alternative was quite scary. Because Canada, Japan, so we can quite offer so kasa boom 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 boom. After elections, you could have had a reaction and as a former. The NPP felt that there was no way they could sell him to the people of this particular country. My country said Kennedy has a strength in other areas, but any presidency, any leadership. Kennedy, I'm told, is a very kind person of what I'm for as a forum, but presidency leadership has nothing to do with being kind and as a forum. It is about rich in ideas, very, your friend saying, Wontumi, in terms of temperament, we are very intelligent, not somebody wearing baby's temperament. To a woman, know what you know. So NPP did that particular calculation and realized Ken will not be an option. And I didn't see Bawumia any contest behind the election that they went. Because some of the candidates, you know, not Mia to give him a contest. Because Kennedy, they social media, we voting because within the NPP now they were not ready to give him that particular chance. And then the other candidates, you know, and just like reconciliation, Juma, and then Alan, they said TBI impressed on him to come back because Alan has some credibility in his fold. And commit to me Ghana for because he hasn't been there. The Akufo-Addo government, even though he was part of it, but at the tail end of it, there was this disconnection. He could have capitalized on that. Obviously, because he didn't have money, they were going to vote for him. So, the best person to lead the MPP at this particular time, Nenkaya Line Chairman saying. So just imagine MPP presenting Alan in the 2028 elections, and NDC presenting a new candidate. It's going to be a hot contest. You understand? But Bawumia is known, and you see, even though this analysis even though MPP Bawumia and Tem, so now the candidate is known, but today they are facing two crises. Integrity crisis, credibility crisis, both brand of the party and then the candidate that they have elected. The NDC doesn't have a candidate yet, but the advantage is that John Mahama government today is performing. So as long as John Mahama performs well, he's building a credibility for whoever the candidate will be. So that is what I'm saying, sir. And the Ghana are looking at who they can trust and integrity. Even though NDC the candidate yet, but any performance via Papa John Mahama, or build a buffer in terms of integrity for whoever will be elected. So when that person is elected, all that he needs to do is to assume that credibility. And then he will be ahead of whoever the NPP has elected, because you still lack credibility. Because people will be looking at the performance of the government, how well, how good. So if government a failure, it will go against whoever that will inherit. And if the government performs so well, you may not know whoever that is coming, but once the person comes, that credibility buffer that the president through the government has built, will be conferred on that person. Because don't forget, the election campaign will be done on the strength of Mahama's government plus a little of what a new person is coming to offer. Because modern elections are about trust. Who can I trust? Why not make me rely on him? Why not to the idea of the mepe amame? What I say? And that modern politics, I evolve what transcended ama yababe do that particular stage where trust has become a critical component of leadership. Independent trust, so I think that is the challenge the MPP is going through, but they don't see it. And you see, I'm party not they are not even ready to take tough corrective measures. And Rami who statement where the number one I say Wontumi say national chairman. So you shouldn't be surprised. You could see clearly that Akufo-Addo's signature is still on the party. That violence, this is a party that in the past was branded as a party of intellectuals. And the whole MPP is going to be led by Wontumi. You know his politics. The way I see Kasa, that your friends a childish brandishment of West to gum 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 gum. This is the party. This is somebody who is seeking to lead a party. His inclusion alone is an insult to everybody, because Ashanti region has always been a secured basket of vote for the MPP. For the first time, NDC Bawura under him. Then they see this is a gentleman of the go to Kotena TV. So a church a Japadia wire Kotos Sports car bet 20 Koguni fee. Chairman for when he was coming, people knew he run a car or so by security, not chairman for Diana Kumasi. So, dear Ben, see, it's because of this politics, yeah, what you call your beard or namano. What I say. So, such a world, you know, and yeah, they are the bragging. You got it cheap, and your politics, I be a security. What are some Americans? So, some of these, and I'm saying, more hunting, you know, these people still find the strength to go and sit on TV and tell people, say, my bra. You really? The sort of exposure and opportunity you've gotten through this government and then as a form, so we are not better than anybody. That is what they don't get it. You understand? So for me, I think elevated politics, you know, to a level where intellectualism is really, where discipline, where men of higher conviction and ideas are allowed to lead politics. You will not wake up a day and be seeing these jokers running around wanting to be president. Yente Kroma Nakwaya or turn a Greek ministry to a body. President. Yes, how low Akufo-Addo's presidency lower the bar in the eyes of people, what we call the presidency in this particular country. The aura of respect, you know, and any idiot at all with money will wake up and say, oh, me too, I want to be president because after I have money, my sissy me dying. Now, when I can't say dying, what's the president? And Kauko US, ya was Sikafo, Elon Musk. Already the only billionaire on the planet the world across 1 trillion. Think about American president. Yeah. What are some? It's not about money. It is not about how many wealth you build. It is about leadership is a reserve zone for few. Everybody can be a politician, but few can be leaders. You understand them? And you should be rich in ideas. How you relate to people, how you take a center stage, dealing and solving problems. That is leadership. It has nothing to do about sit down where you see going my boy Japadena on a video be. What I say? So I think that if the narrative is changing from that particular way, now you put a premium on wisdom, reasoning, logic, common sense, and there, and a bit me boy me pay your mind baby. But MPP now party now suffer credibility crisis. Make us and catch up about brand MPP. So that brand is going to be led by characters like Wontumi. Then you can imagine say brand na egu so I say.
I'll say after consulting his maker.
It's funny. Now you can't blame him because that is what the party has become. Because go back to 2000 in his widest dream on the MPP. If you go back to 2010, I'm not sure. But this is what the party has become. Because under Akufo-Addo, my culture said intellectualism was substituted for idiocy. So all the renowned individuals of all of them were booted out of the party. Just mention names. All of them were thrown out of the bus. And then these guys, these unruly characters, these reckless characters, taking the center stage, and they were just running the show. Boom, 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 sir. Now, you think Ghana for trust you? I want the MPP to be good. I want them to be stronger, so that our democracy will also be stronger, but not this kind of way. And now, if you look at all facets of the MPP, the party is in crisis. The flag bearer has integrity, credibility crisis. You go back to Parliament and you see a Afenyo Markin always morphing into some kind of a comedian in Parliament, raising unnecessary cheap kind of issues. Ghana for consistently about happenings in Parliament. Now, Enra issue by your more about Kotoka. Where from this your friend saying Kotoka issue? Because the debate to get Kotoka's name on that particular airport change, and so if you go back to history, people have been agitating just say Abambia and financial interest. Yes, and that particular way, it makes sense in the sense say the gentleman Kotoka. There is no Votarian one linking to Kotoka because of the terrible in this country. The guy betrayed Kwame Nkrumah, and if you read Kwame Nkrumah's book, he made reference to the fact that he was betrayed by people he trusted so much. The day Kwame Nkrumah was leaving Ghana to Hanoi, mediation on the invitation of the Chinese the premier at the time, they now all call on a Kotoka picture. Not to know say your plan when you say you to know. So that guy was nothing more than the traitor. Now say Nidia Kwakoto such a monument, so Obi Frabontina or Bagana, the first thing that comes to mind the Kotoka International Airport. And Obi are a bit interested in history. Might want to find out who that Kotoka guy is. You end up saying he was a traitor. Kwame Nkrumah is a well-known figure. He betrayed Kwame Nkrumah. Then the next question is, why do you have his name here? And then the story becomes something different. You understand? So for me, say you Kotoka dear Frisadinaswa, it's quite right. The mere fact over the years, I have listened to a lot of people making argument, and that's why you need a seeker. No. You see, Afanya Makin, that guy, I don't know what is wrong with him. You see, he's just interested in doing just silly politics in parliament. Because, I mentioned what NPP as a political party, Ed Draghi Rollins at the court in 1995, I think 31st December. Case, a popular, your friends say, other way, a case, if you read online, you will get it. Their argument was that Yaba into 1992, Yaji democracy at home. So, among Tiasi Rollins are buying time of my sick as all the celebrity coup. And Saudi impugn Article 3, your friends say, 3-4 of the 1992 Constitution. Ghana for Kutu say anything relating to coup, I see a sororitia. And this a buying no de Ghana Sika air celebrity coup there, or more as an MPP, or more Draghi Rollins at the court. Emma Supreme Court to say anything ever linked to coup d'etat. Because your democratic rule, no, we need to cut ties with it. So the same person from the same political tradition today is telling you, say, somebody who was a key architect of a coup d'etat that removed Nkrumah, that person name should be on our way. That person is not a joker. That person is not double standard. Is it not mere emotions? And Asamna Bami opposition need to say something. That tells you say he doesn't even understand the tradition and what the MPP over the years, has been fighting for. Because they stood against 31st December. That was a coup celebration. I say a coup, they will not allow it. Today, you want a hero of a coup d'etat that deposed the most renowned president in the history of this particular country, Kwame Nkrumah, to have his name on it? No. And I'm also not in agreement with the majority leader when he says it should be Accra. Your friends say, Accra International Airport. Accra for what? I think Kwame Nkrumah's name, that is the fear. They need to put it there for it to be Kwame Nkrumah's name, because Kwame Nkrumah is all over. Whenever you come to Africa, you will hear the name Kwame Nkrumah at the airport. From there, you can go to his museum, and then the history continues, because I believe, sir, history must be projected in a very good way. That we tell the positive aspect. Yes, you can tell the negative aspect. If you go to Germany today, nobody wants to hear the name Adolf Hitler. Because the name Adolf Hitler invokes negative, bad, terrible passion within a typical German. They don't. Nobody wants to. Okona will not be Kasana Osta. Adolf Hitler history, but then they will tell you to pause. Because this is a foreigner who took advantage of the weakness and hyperinflation at the time. Adolf Hitler, what people don't know, is on free Germany. He's an Austrian who took advantage after the First World War and through conspiracy in as far as all of the Germany didn't we are seeing now to the extent say Germany became the enemy of the world. It took America and the Allied forces to intervene. And then Donald Trump call that for some catch him say, "Nyame na ajemo na nya American ka mu nyina you speak a little German." And I no send common depose Adolf Hitler and can we say obi aka German. Ko nsemuna no odi no, he wanted to conquer the world. Now or impose or no the rule on the world, and definitely you have no other option than to speak German. And can now call you can come nyina ka German and as a form. What I say. So story no, you will tell the positive side, you don't tell the negative side. So to say it's a Accra International Conference, then there is no need to change it. I think it should be Kwame Nkrumah International Airport. Finito, we move on. We tell the positive part of our history and also tell young people, say, I have a sense of patriotism and nationalism. You tell people, say, so what sacrifice for Omaya, your country will never forget you. Because Omaya to me, nobody fight for the nation. We are fighting for our stomach and our political parties. We don't care what happens to the country after we leave power. You understand? So we must begin to send a long message via history like this to tell people, say, sacrifices. Kwame Nkrumah, we have many years in here. If still we are remembering him, it means, so we are the papa in there. That's what we are Kaiwa. Then in the future you'll be remembered. These jokers today rise up in parliament and say Kotoka's name should not be changed. Yanti Kroma na Akufo-Addo kwasa CK tadam ne sansem hununu ko gugu university so.
Yeah.
Obia university dormitory kran 1 CB. He has the gut and the infantry to go to UDS. Any other university, Rollins in the sea, your mind way, or MPP, people who led MPP and have no significance in Ghana political scheme of affairs. Because he can't tell them, apart from MPP, Braben or boy, what time did they go to state university? So then, yes, appear in council, appear in the scheme of political affairs of Ghana, the relevance in the side, apart from MPP. Now, what time did they go to university? So, thank God, so my years are the universities. You did, Akufo-Addo did this thing. I find your market to complain here. I didn't know all year, Nessa Binyansa Bianim, but at the time they even wanted to change University of Ghana.
It took some back to it.
Yes.
Honestly, say you change Kotoka, they are JB down
they are jokers. They are jokers. And I make us say, CK Tadam, other universities no changing and they didn't see it. So for me, I think we must face it raw. There is no need to say Accra International. I know Munja and Kotokana. Accra no more Kandia. They should leave it at Kotoka. It should be Kwame Nkrumah International Airport. As simple as that. Maybe they are scared of the backlash. Kwame Nkrumah is a figure who, in the mind of every proper Ghanaian, appreciate what he did. And for me, every foreigner be or Ghana be and the first point the airport. Whether he decides to go anywhere, he will embrace the name Kwame Nkrumah. Yeah. The founder of this particular country as the record state. So for me, I think there is no contradiction around it. All the noise, the unnecessary noise Afenyo Makin and Co are doing about it. I've seen on the other side, Kojo Opon Nkrumah say he supported and so forth. Because that has been the consistent position of the MPP. Yeah. Anything cool, they said they don't want it. Per the 31st December case. So today, if Afenyo Makin is in parliament, protesting and raising certain childish infantile argument about your friends say ewe force you rise because omo nipa ba akope why na we voter region or linking who to Kotoka why the same way no German want to link himself to Adolf Hitler. Yeah. Or even Austria, what is Austria for? Sorry, say now Adolf Hitler for your crew because he did a very terrible thing, and nobody want to link himself to. The same way, nobody in the voter region make around say recent denomination Kotoka free voter.
Oh, free voter.
Yes, but nobody in the voter region and link associating. So there is nobody in the voter region who is going to rise against it. You understand? And Nkrumah gave birth to voter region. If there is anybody to celebrate her, Kwame Nkrumah brought voter region to Ghana. Trans-Togoland, it took Kwame Nkrumah, and these people resisted it. They say Ghana no should be Ashanti region and a coast Hankwan. It was through Kwame Nkrumah's intervention on the voter region and the northern region, but can't Ghana Ghana ye be away. And to say voter region for only any allegiance to anybody. It is Kwame Nkrumah, not Kotoka. So this is childish argument for a whole minority leader to stand on his feet in parliament and be throwing this, your friend saying, argument to say, or your votarian and so Sani and no one would do say between so would you near so yes sorry I tell you near fan to ministry be we are near fan a kind of water we're gonna young fan to minister of your friend saying finance and swear what I say such in some who should not be tolerated. So for me I think that is in order that the bill that is going to parliament should state categorically without fear. Yeah, okay. It should be Kwame Nkrumah International Center. This Accra International Center is highly unnecessary. If that is the reason why they are changing it, I think they to stop and maintain the Kotoka. Na ye nyina ntra ho. Sabaye na ye hu se history ya mwa tempted. Then we want people to read the negative side of our history. That is up to us. But for me, if there should be any change, it should be Kwame Nkrumah. Aside that, other than that, we should just stop it.
Okay. Right, Mama check you as a me akai mo comments ne kakra bia ne akoye second topic no eso Ebenezer Moto say Mama ya please I will organize.
Thanks for staying tuned. PENDREAM TV really appreciates your time right here on PENDREAM TV and say God bless you for the good work you are doing and continue to do. If you have really enjoyed this video or have any suggestion to give, please do that at the comment section. Like and also share to other members to watch as well. Thank you.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.